Hey y'all, welcome back to the Skookum Report. I got some extra time tonight. I think I'm going to try and squeeze a couple short Bigfoot encounter stories in. This first one is a group of people that were going home to Wisconsin after being in Florida for spring break. They want to remain anonymous, and it says, "We were driving back to Wisconsin after spring break in Daytona Beach. It was mid-April 1983. Now this is hilarious to me. I mean, I actually cracked up laughing out loud because I'm thinking it was 83. Star Wars was even bigger then than it is now, probably. But he mentions like a Star Wars thing in here, and it just cracked me up. But okay, he says, "We were driving back to Wisconsin after spring break in Daytona Beach. It was mid-April 1983. I had dropped off of a friend who was in the Navy in Charleston, North Carolina, and we were driving through North Carolina en route past Asheville at the time. I think we were on Route 26 near Hendersonville. I had been driving for about 5 hours, and we were definitely in the hills. It was around 2 or 3 a.m., and this all happened very fast," he says. Now, a small 4 to 5 foot tall brown shaggy creature with a very pointed head crossed the road in front of the car, and its arms were swinging. He said, "I was moving fast, and it was really close. I slammed the brakes so hard that they had locked up, and it put the car into a skid. I just barely missed hitting this thing." This jarred my two friends awake, who were, of course, sleeping in the car. It was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I told them that I had just seen a Jawa walk out in front of the car. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess my brain just couldn't reconcile what I was seeing, so Jawa popped in. I thought it was wearing a brown robe with a hood. I chalked it up to seeing things, and I just kept driving. Oh, but the more I go over my reaction, the more I feel it was really there. I've had deer jump out in front of my car and surprise me, and I've reacted the same way by hitting the brakes with no delay. It wasn't some sort of foggy apparition that slowly appeared in front of the car. This thing was there, and it was real, and it was gone in only a second or two. I'm sorry, that Jawa reference kills me. This second encounter is from Prince of Wales County, Alaska, and this is pretty good. This was in the winter of 2004, and on the edge of town, near Heidelberg, right out on the edge of town, they said they were on near Main Street, and they said this incident happened just after 11 p.m., and this young lady wants to remain anonymous as well, and she says, "This happened just after 11 p.m. My daughter was home alone, and she lives with a relative who was out of town at the time, and she called me around 20 minutes after 11, and she was terrified. She said she could hear something walking back and forth by her bedroom window. She also said she looked out the window when she first heard it and saw something big and black. Really big," she described the thing to have been about 3 or 4 feet above the bottom of the window. Now, when I went down to look behind the house the next morning, I stood by the window, and I'm 5'4", and my eyes just reached the bottom of the window, so I figured this thing, whatever it was, must have been 7 to 8 feet tall. We live in a small village of less than 500 people. There's a lot of bushes and trees in between the houses, too. And their house is close to the beach, and there's a forest surrounding the town. Now, I never have known my daughter to be afraid of anything. But when she called me, and I went to pick her up, she was shaking like a leaf. She was hysterical. It took me almost an hour to calm her down. I questioned her about what happened, and she called me about 5 minutes after she first saw it. She was too scared to move. When I got down there, I wouldn't go behind the house to take a look. And she was hiding in my relative's closet. She said it was walking back and forth right behind the house outside of her window. She described the footsteps as the sound that someone very large walking on 2 feet would make. kind of like a stomping, she said. My daughter is very down to earth. She's not a drama queen by any means. And when I first went down there, I didn't really know what was going on, just that my daughter was scared spitless. But I would not look behind the house that night. And when I went up to the house, my hair felt like it was standing on end, and I had goosebumps really bad. I was scared, and I wasn't really sure why. Now, I had questioned the neighbor who lives next door to my daughter the next day, but they weren't sure what it was, and they hadn't checked it out, but she did hear her dog barking. There's quite a few other stories about sightings, out here close to town, she says, but there was one less than a mile away from where this happened, as a matter of fact. And there's also been quite a few sightings on the Heidelberg Road by several people, just too many to post here right now, but that's pretty cool. That's amazing. Someone down to earth, and she said that's the most freaked out she's ever seen her, and she's not a drama queen, but she was hiding in a closet. She saw something outside that window, and it scared her half to death, that's for sure. Thank y'all for checking out these encounter stories tonight, and I appreciate y'all. And if you have an encounter story, or someone you know has an encounter story or a sighting, shoot me an email at skookumreport@gmail.com. That's skookumreport@gmail.com, and I'll be sure to get it up on the channel for y'all. It's not a problem whatsoever. This is a lot of fun, and I just enjoy it so much. So y'all take care. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment and just say hi if you want. I'll see you guys next time on the Skookum Report. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.